Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot, with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. First, I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you, and for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach out to me for a personal reading, as well as a link to join as a member to the channel. With that being said, today's message we are doing or asking what major changes are occurring for you. And we are going to be using the Wild Unknown Archetypes today by Kim Krans. I was really called to use these, so I'm excited. I love this deck. I love all the Kim Krans decks. They're incredible decks. So let's go ahead and hop to our prayer and we'll get this reading underway for you. Just like there's a huge shift in energy here lately. And that's going to be especially true if you're Gemini and Cancer, Pisces, and Virgo. There's been a lot of shifts for those four signs this year, promised. All right, so my beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading, whether it's for a moment's time or for the entire time. I ask that you wrap us in the knowledge that we can trust the changes that are coming into our lives, that as these shifts occur, that they are for our highest good, even if they feel uncomfortable or even if they feel distant from us at this time, that nothing is too far away and that nothing is impossible if we choose to trust in our own abilities and we choose to have faith that you will bring us to open doors and opportunities. I ask right now that you give courage to those who need it, that you give grace to those who are asking for it, that you bring solace to those who need it most with broken hearts or who are in the depths of their own darkness at this time. No part of life is truly easy. However, as we live and we experience, we begin to understand that each part of our life is something precious to behold. The highest highs and the lowest lows, there is something for each of us to learn in each moment as we breathe, as we live, and as we move. Wrap all of us here in your loving arms and your loving embrace. As these words are spoken unto this tribe and upon this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right, let me get that up here. And I already gave these a shuffle. They're actually too big for my hands, so I like to shuffle these off camera because holy Toledo, like I have small hands. I have come to terms with that. So, all right, source. So for pile number 1, what Wild Unknown Archetype card will help us better understand the major change that is occurring for pile number 1? For pile number 1, source. Okay, thank you. And for pile number 2, source, what Wild Unknown our archetype oracle will help us better understand the major changes that are occurring for pile number 2, source. For pile number 2. Okay, thank you. And for pile number 3, source, what Wild Unknown Archetype oracle will help us better understand what major changes are occurring for pile number 3. Pile number 3, source. Which one will help us understand what major changes are occurring for pile number 3? Okay, thank you. All right, so it's interesting because we do have the crone on the bottom of the deck with the number 13 card. And the crone is like the time of, like, it's the elder, right? Like, I'm not sure. There's the maiden, the goddess and the crone, and so it's like the elder time. But it was funny because when I flipped this over and I saw that, I immediately thought of death, like a transformation. And that's a confirmation to the fact that there is a shift that's happening. And we see here that it's holding this coin with the Star of David on it as well. So I do feel like there's a transformation in the way that you're communicating with Source, the way that you're connecting with your guides, and the way that you're seeing the spiritual realm and the lessons that the spiritual realm is bringing to you. You're able to receive those clearly now. And that's a huge part of the transformation that's occurring across the collective right now, okay? All right, so let me get this set up and make sure that we're in frame. Okay, for pile number 1, we do have this beautiful seashell for you to choose from. I got this in Corpus Christi. It was Mustang Island, actually. Okay, for pile number 2, we do have this cute little feather. So I got in Ohio. Okay, and for pile number 3, we have this beautiful moonstone that came to me while I was in Carlsbad, California. Okay. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever one you feel drawn to, that should be the one for you. And with that, I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful shell, which I picked up in Mustang Island near Corpus Christi, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what major changes are occurring in your life. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anyone that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. With that, I do want to mention that I was getting a channeled message, but it's interesting because it just went away right now. All right, well, we're going to get into it. If it comes back up, it comes back up. I was going to mention it, but as soon as I wanted to, it was gone. So, all right. So, what major change is occurring for pile number 1? What would you like them to know at this time, Source? What major change is occurring for pile number 1? What would you like them to know? Okay, a little bit of it's coming back. It's not quite the message that I remember getting, but I remember part of this is that it's about reconnecting with your inner child and your playful side. Like maybe you've been way too serious recently. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of I have to be an adult, like I can't enjoy life because things are so serious. And there's a shift in your energy where it's like, even though you're still taking care of those really serious things, a lightheartedness is beginning to surround you. And so you're getting filled with more vitality, and you're feeling more free and open to what life is bringing, instead of feeling like You know, that I keep seeing the Joker, why so serious? You know, like, it's not like that anymore. You don't feel like that so much anymore. It's like you can still laugh at things that might feel challenging, knowing that you're getting through it, and that makes you feel a lot better and a lot lighter. Okay, so we've got the 12th house. We've got Mars energy and Pisces energy. Yeah, there's been a lot, it looks like, that you've had to shed recently. A lot of healing internally, and healing from things that have been feeling so burdensome. You know, whether they're yours to carry or not, I do feel like a lot of you have let go of things that you were carrying that were others, you know, energies and feelings and emotions, and didn't recognize those as being not yours, right? Especially if you're an empath and you're absorbing that energy, and it's like that becomes your defense mechanism when you're absorbing other people's energies. It's like, I'm absorbing it so that I can protect myself, but at the same time, there's not knowing, where do I end and where does this person begin, or where does this other energy begin? And so with that, we see here that as you shed, you feel a lot more lighter and brighter, and you're going to have a lot more energy with this Mars energy coming through here, a lot more passion and excitement for life. And I don't know if you watched the intro, but we did get the crone on the bottom of the deck, and I was expressing that this was coming out with this feeling of transformation, but also a new connection with source. Like, it's not new, it's a deepening connection with source, and being able to connect with your guides in a much clearer way, and just overall feeling free from guilt, from shame, from blame. Maybe there was an addiction here that was at play. And, you know, addictions don't necessarily have to be sex and drugs and alcohol. It can be a toxic pattern that we're exhibiting, a thought process that continues to play out again and again in our head, a safety mechanism that we've developed in the sense of people pleasing, distracting, isolating, or controlling, right? These are all things that can turn into addictions as our emotional ego is trying to use them as defense mechanisms to save us from hurtful situations, and we begin to rely on those things. And so it feels like you're actually looking into deeper parts of yourself right now, really understanding something that came up. You're like, whoa, holy crap, like, instead of healing myself, like, I would run and I would try to control people, or I would run and I would isolate, or I would run and I would people please, or, you know, like, whatever it was that was coming through, it's like you were running away from yourself. And we see that with 12th house, you know, that addiction coming through would be something you're running from. The reason that addictions exist is because you're running from a part of yourself. You're running from something that you feel like you cannot accept. And so we see here that there's something that you suddenly just release and let go of, and it's like arms wide open. You accept a part of yourself, and you give yourself that love that you need, and in turn it like feeds you. And isn't this interesting? What I was feeling, like that childlike energy, and this is symbolic here because you have Pisces energy rolling over into Mars, right? So you have Pisces, and Aries energy. Pisces is the end of the zodiac, right? The end of winter. And Aries energy connecting to Mars is the beginning of spring, which is actually the beginning of the zodiac year. And so that when you look at Aries, and you liken, if you're looking at some of the deacons within Aries, they liken a lot of them to being the child born, right? So at the beginning of Aries season, that would be the child being born, pushing through into new life. And so again, like vitality, like new life, a new beginning, a new era for you that is filled with the wisdom of the old era from the Pisces energy. So it's like something you're letting go of that's really allowing you to rebirth yourself and set sail to new horizons. It's a very powerful reading already. All right, we're going to dig in deeper and see what comes through with the tarot. So, source, what major changes are occurring for pile number 1? What major changes are occurring for pile number one? Yeah, it looks like you're going to be networking with new people or connecting with new people. Feeling a lot more grounded and like there's more opportunities everywhere you go. Feeling fresh. Like this is like a fresh new start for you. And I feel like some of you are ready. So ready for that. You've been dealing with toxic people. You've been dealing with manipulative people. People who have ulterior motives. People who broke your heart, betrayed you. Okay, so Source, what changes are occurring for pile number one? What major changes are occurring for pile number one? Thank you. What major changes are occurring for pile number one, Source? Okay, thank you. What major changes are occurring for pile number one, Source? Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Two of Coins. In the uprights, there's been a lot of twists and turns, right? And there's still gonna be. Like, life is all about ups and downs. Like, there's no amount of healing that we can do that will take away the outside things that happen that are like a huge roller coaster ride. There's nothing that we can do to change that. That's just the dualistic nature of this world. And people who promise that that'll go away, like, that's just a false promise. Like, you heal so that you know how to deal with that. Right? And I don't know why they're saying this, but the example that they're giving me is like death, right? Like no matter how much we heal ourselves, we can't eradicate death because it's the only thing that we're promised in life. And death is something that is very difficult for a lot of people to deal with, right? Because it's like you're now having this huge hole in your heart with all this love that you want to give, but there's no one to put that love on. And so that's where grief comes from. It's just this emptiness. It's like, where do I put all this love that I have? And it's like, well, but if I heal enough, maybe I can overcome death. But that's just not going to happen, right? It's like we have to look at things that there are always going to be external circumstances that are outside of our control. And we see here that there's always going to be a myriad of twists and turns in your life and ups and downs and things that are going to need to be balanced. But what's shifting for you is that understanding. It's like grasping onto the concept that this is outside of my control, but it doesn't mean that I have to let that control who I am. And so that's what's coming for you. And that's what ends up balancing out your energy here. Yeah, and there could be someone coming in as well, like an alliance that you're going to be forming. But I also feel like this is an alliance with yourself and with Source and with your guides, where it's like you just trust. It's like you're going to tell me something and I'm going to do it because I trust that process. And in turn, you're going to see a lot of success because of that. You're going to see a lot of good things come because of that. Okay, the Five of Swords already. Okay, so we've got Justice in the reverse, and we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. Wow. Look at this, 5 and 5. Okay, so here's the thing. There's been this energy where it's like, almost like you've been stagnant and you didn't want to change. And it's not that you were consciously not wanting to change, right? Like oftentimes when we're being resistant to change, it's because something in our subconscious is screaming, no, like I can't change. What the heck are you doing to me? Stop. I can't do that. Like you're wanting me to do the one thing that I know I'm incapable of doing. And our spirit's like, who said you were incapable of doing that? And you're like, it's just the only thing that makes sense. And it's like, it's a block that we created ourselves, right? And so we see that there's been something here that was really unfair that happened to you with Justice in the reverse at the center of your reading. There was something that was incredibly unfair. People that you were dealing with who were incredibly judgmental of you. People who were just dishing out really lopsided situations to you where it's like maybe you were giving a lot of love and they were taking your love or your kindness for granted, and then they would betray you, and it's like, oh well, pile one really loves me and I can treat them however I want to. Like life is sad. It's sad like that, right? Like there's gonna be people who do that, and I wish that they weren't, but that's just sometimes how people are. Like they just really take accountability for how their actions hurt others. And that's exactly what it feels like here. But with the Five of Swords starting your reading here and the Two of Coins at the back, we see that you're overcoming excuse me, you're overcoming the negative thoughts that this has created for you. And so the shift is really on a mental state. And that mental state is what begins to forge the path forward for you so that you can make progress in your life. But also I heard amends with yourself, making amends with yourself. It's like maybe that exact same thing where you were resisting, like, no, I'm incapable of doing this. And now it turns into you saying to yourself, like, let's try it and let's see what happens because I believe in myself. And it's this positive shift that's happening now. And you're recognizing that the way that people treated you has nothing to do with how you should treat yourself, but there had been a mirrored instant of that. What I was saying earlier, addictions don't necessarily have to be external substances. They can be internal voices. And that's the thing that I feel like is the main thing that's shifting for you, the major change that is occurring for you right now, pile one, is the shift in mentality, the shift in the way you see yourself, the shift in how you've been negatively impacting yourself. It's turning into this positive voice where you're lifting yourself up. If you are not able to do the things that you need to do in a day, you're no longer discrediting yourself or judging yourself or bludgeoning yourself, like you're saying, hey, look, we had a really rough day today and I'm allowed to be human and I'm allowed to have a day where I'm not 100%, like I'm not a robot and I'm just going to be happy with what I did today and I am enough. And that in and of itself is something that all of a sudden, all that tension and that rivalry and that hurt and that pain, it actually begins to unfold and you begin to release it. And I feel like that's why you're getting so much vitality all of a sudden, is because it's all that pent up energy that was just, it was getting tighter and tighter and tighter the more that you judged yourself, tighter and tighter and tighter the more that you connected with people who betrayed you or hurt you or were unkind to you. Is like just, it was wound so tightly around you that it was cutting off life. And now it's loosening up, and the more that it loosens up, the freer you feel, and the more you feel connected to yourself and your guides, and the more clear you feel, and the more passion takes over in your life, and the more courageous you begin to feel. And so you're overcoming a really dark time in your life. That's the major shift that's happening for you right now. The major change that's occurring for you in your life right now is overcoming this incredibly dark state of mind. And maybe you didn't know, right? Maybe this was something that was really subconscious. You were fighting depression or feeling low or struggling to get out of bed or just struggling to show up. And it's like, maybe you were always asking, why do I feel this way? Like it's not that I don't have energy, I do, but I just, as soon as I start to do something, I'm completely drained. And it's because of that resistance. There was like this cap that was on you, and through you continuing to ask why, your soul and your spirit has actually given you a chance to unravel this and say, it's like, this is not ours to carry. This is not ours to carry. And you began to discern when people were trying to toss their garbage on you, and it's like, you just dodged. You gracefully dodged and danced out of the way. You're like, bye, suckers, right? Like you were out there and doing your thing, and it was like when you started to do that, it started to make sense, like all the things that you were beginning to carry or that you had initially been carrying for so long. And so this has not been an easy process, but it was well worth the time spent doing it. It was well worth the time that was dedicated from your soul and from yourself to really understanding that all that judgment from the past has nothing to do with who you are as a soul or as a person. And so you're going to start seeing yourself glow up. You're going to start seeing yourself shine. You're going to see like people wanting to be like you even more than maybe before. But I feel like even if you haven't seen that before, like you're going to see people wanting to copy you, people be like you, talk to you a lot. Like you might feel like you're in a competition with a lot of people. And remember, the only person we're in competition with technically is ourselves. We just want to make sure that today is better than yesterday. Even if today is only at 50% of yesterday, what can we do today that makes us feel good about ourselves? If it's one thing, that's all we need to focus on, right? But there's going to be a lot more drive in your life. All right, let's see what comes through for you here. What else, Source? What would you like them to know? Okay. We have on the bottom air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. This has been a huge mountain for you to conquer. And really, you have. This is something you've conquered. It's not even just the climb. Like, this is something that you fiercely fought and conquered within yourself. And it's been a challenge, but it's been worth it because you're learning something new on how to observe your life. Again, air element here. This is Aquarius energy, Libra, Leo, and Capricorn. So you have this energy where it's like you're actually opening up now to this free thinking. That's what I keep hearing, free thinking. The one thing that no one can control is how you think about yourself. And that's the one thing that you're leaning into right now is like, I'm going to think freely about myself. Okay, on the bottom, this card has been popular this week. Sarah DeWin Baldwin, number 22. See the wonders around you and honor this incarnation. The here and now is the stage on which you will encounter and learn to love yourself. Exactly. Self-love. You're coming into a very beautiful place of self-love. You're understanding yourself more. Gaining clarity about who you are. Thank you so much, Source. We've got the pig spirit with use your mind wisely. So the major change occurring for you is how you see yourself. Mentally, right? And that's going to affect you on an emotional level and everything. This is a very spiritual time for you. You're raising your vibration to a place that you've never been before, right? And you're just seeing things differently. And that is just helping you so much. This is more than a perspective shift. This is like a huge download of truth that suddenly seeps into every part of your being. Embrace the in-between with the flamingo spirit. Yeah, healing karmic cycles, but also opening your heart to yourself. Right, and the in-between, and I feel like that's kind of where you're at right now. Like, is this really going to shift? Is this really going to change? Like, I feel the change, but I don't. But I feel the change, but I don't. It's kind of this back and forth. That's the in-between, because it takes time for things to settle. And then we have, look, peacock spirit underneath that. Look at this heart shape right here with the light shining through. Let it shine. Like, you can't get more clear about this. You're coming into a period of time where your heart chakra is opening and you're going to be having a massive glow up. All right, let's get an angel number. And I think I want to get a couple of answer oracles for you. Okay, 0, 0, 0. Reflect. Soul journey. Inner reflection, alignment, infinite possibilities, mindfulness, contemplation. Take time to reflect on your soul's journey. You are a part of an infinite universe where all things are possible. Clear your mind, realign your thoughts, and rediscover your purpose. How can I reconnect with my soul's journey? What steps can I take to realign with the infinite possibilities of the universe? Spend a few minutes today in quiet reflection, meditate or write about your thoughts and feelings to gain clarity on your current path. Yeah. So it's like a fresh start. Isn't that what I was saying earlier? It's like that birth. This is brand new. It's like when you look at 0, you see nothing, but when you look through 0, you see the whole world. I'm pretty sure that's a famous quote by someone. Look, and then we have 66 on the bottom with don't worry, calm, optimism, joy, trust, release, and soul's mission. Soul journey and soul mission together here. If you've been consumed by worry, fear, or concerns about the physical world, it's time to shift your focus. Move from stressing over material needs to joyfully pursuing your soul's mission with optimism. Isn't that what we were talking about? I don't know why, but I feel like I need to get a shadow aspect for you, pile one. We're going to get a shadow aspect for this reading source, and then I will close out with a few of the answer oracles. We've got devilish on the bottom. Trouble follows them around, tempting and addictive charm. So again, pointing towards there's been an addiction here. It could have to do with people, with love, with this, you know, connection with people. It's like, oh, they're tempting, right? And it could just be that that was your emotional ego playing at that game as well. Like it realized that maybe you fell for that in other people, and your emotional ego is like, oh, this actually works to getting them to do what I want, so I'm going to be that way, right? Our emotional ego is pretty clever. You know, like we sometimes treat it like it's something that's stupid, but it's not. It's incredibly clever, and it's always trying to find the best ways to keep us secure, but it doesn't recognize that keeping us secure by its versions and methods, that it ends up hurting us more, right? So we've got on the bottom process, journey, growth, path, and experiences. So journey, this is a part of your journey, and I feel like that's coming out so much. You know, soul journey, we have journey and growth, path, experience, soul mission. We had solo, fly out, with core action, or I'm sorry, core figure, action, leader, and lone hero. So this part of your journey, like if this is you walking away from somebody or a group of people, or, you know, maybe just shifting your direction, your focus on yourself, like that's something that's meant to happen right now, because you're meant to experience this part of your journey alone. It's so that you can figure out, like, who am I without people around? So it's a powerful part of your journey. And we've got, I love this dragon, Mother Mary and Zeo. Extend the trust within you to all things in existence. It will set you free. Those who are free will always choose love. So you're coming into this place of deep, deep self-love, which is going to help you extend unconditional love to others. And that means that you let go of being a doormat and instead come into a place of empowered love. And you're going to really be enjoying this next part of your life. Look, Mars, once again, move forward and defend self. Exactly. You're no longer taking people's bull. Like, you're just like, look, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go. Like, you want to live in that energy? Cool, but I don't have to stick around for it. And Uranus, another confirmation, radically change. Right? Like, this is a huge shift for you. This is a huge shift. And it's powerful. It might not seem powerful, but it's incredibly powerful. Look, I can't with you, Source. You're so amazing. Thank you so much. We're starting over. Ending it and moving on. Move forward. Trying again. The ex is back. So this could be an ex that you're leaving. This could be someone who's reminding you of your ex, like that same energy coming through. Whatever it is, it's like you're in the massive change here is bringing you into this brand new beginning. You're shifting from gathering wisdom from these horrible experiences that you've been on. It's like learning these lessons. And regardless if they're here for our lessons or not, it's like you're taking from them what you need so that you can begin again from that experience. Right? And that's helping you to defend yourself and radically shift your energy into a state of love. And that's helping you to let go of that mindset that others have seemingly pressed upon you. Yeah. Loneliness, emptiness, depression, wandering, and gap period. I'm not surprised that this came out. Didn't I say that earlier? Like, you might feel like you've been fighting a period of depression and not understanding why. This is why. This reading is explaining why that's been happening. And then we have anniversary, birthday, holiday, and important day. Okay, so you could have been celebrating an anniversary recently, or your birthday just passed, or there was some sort of important holiday that like triggered all of this. And that's something that's coming through. But also it feels like, you know, maybe because we're about to come up into Valentine's season as well with the solo card, it's like saying don't worry about being alone, right? You're not lonely. Being alone and loneliness are two different things. You're very much connected, and rely on your spiritual team to help get you through those seemingly difficult days, okay? So let's take a look at your archetype card and find out more. What is radically changing, or what is the major shift that's occurring for you right now? And we've got the gem, finding yourself in the thick of it, in the hardships, in the darkness, seeing that you shine too. Okay, so this is 56. Is this an initiation card? No. Okay. The gem. Didn't go far enough. There we go. The inner treasure, the diamond, the gold. So it says, the moments of your life that glimmer are clues to where the gem resides. Don't covet the sparkling diamond of another. The gem is like a fingerprint, never to be repeated again. Find yours. It says in mythology, the diamond is often linked to the daemon, or the inner light that leads us toward our true self, our purpose, and our destiny. Yeah, this is a part of your path. There are infinite names for the gem. It is also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. And one thing is for certain, that it is found deep within a substance that is very much unlike it. For example, a diamond in the rough. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you're among comforts and pleasantries. Precious stones develop slowly, deep in the earth, amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no definitive map. Yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging. When light, it's unique, shining, generative, and irreplaceable. When dark, it's envious, greedy, and grasping. To go deeper, Legends of the Crystal Skulls and Leonard Cohen's Diamond in the Mind. Okay, so, and that's what we were talking about. It's like you've been digging into the darkness. Like I was saying earlier, it's like maybe you've been in this period of darkness, this period of depression, and it actually forced you to go within. Well, and the reason it did that was so that you could come into this place of locating your gem, your inner gem, and healing that part of yourself. And 56, when we break that down, is 11, and we had 47. So 1111 might be a powerful number that is following you around right now, reminding you that your connection with the divine is developing at an exponential rate. And so trust that process, okay? All right, this is what I see here for you, pile number 1. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little diamond emoji down below and say, I am the diamond in the rough, and I'll dig until I discover my own true light. And if it resonated with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. How to reach out to me for a personal reading, how to join as a member. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message at this time. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful little feather, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what major changes are occurring for you right now. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what major change is occurring for pile number 2 right now, Source. What major change is occurring for pile number 2? What would you like them to know, Source? What major change is occurring for pile number 2? So, before I look at these, right now, I got this message that came in as like this clear communication. There's a clear communication. This could be from someone, or this could be you clearly communicating to someone or others about yourself and your journey. It's like you're no longer holding back just because you might have been afraid of having a sharp tongue, or might have been afraid of hurting someone's feeling, but there's a major change that's occurring around the way that you are speaking to others. Okay. So we've got the 4th house. We've got Cancer energy and Saturn. Okay, this has been a rough journey in healing ancestral wounds and healing generational curses for you. With the 4th house, we have ancestral roots and family ties and connections. Also Cancerian energy here. We have Capricorn, and Cancer and Capricorn are the opposite on the zodiac wheel as well. So I'm feeling this energy of being completely opposite from your family, your entire family. There's nobody in your whole family. Like, you might have had family reunions as a kid where like hundreds of family members showed up and you were just the one oddball out, and people might have mentioned it too. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of people who have said it openly to you and your family, like, why are you so different? Like, why can't you just be like everyone else? And maybe you didn't have that big of a family, but I feel like that's something that was said to you a lot as a child. And, you know, maybe as a child, like, you felt like you didn't have courage or the room to say something back to them because, you know, maybe your parents were like, you're a child, like, you're just supposed to deal with it or whatever, like, don't talk back to adults. I feel like there was some huge illusion that was impressed upon you where it was like, you know, what was it? Speaking for myself is you took it as talking back. So it's like, if I spoke up, I was talking back. That's what I'm feeling. Like this energy where it's like something closed off your throat chakra from the time you were very young. Could have happened as early as the age of 3 and 4. It could have happened when you were older, as an older child, like 10, 11, and 12. It could have been in teenage years. But it was something that was very impressed upon you that you were not capable of having a voice. Because speaking up was talking back. That's what I keep hearing. Speaking up was talking back. And so there was a lot of control. Right? And you dealt with a lot of control in your life. And this is something that hindered you from experiencing what you wanted to experience in life. And I feel like for maybe a huge portion of you here, that you may have chose to go to school with what your family said. So like if they said you need to be a lawyer or a doctor or a businessman or woman or a person, or you need to do this, you need to do that. Like you might have actually followed in those footsteps, being completely miserable for the sheer fact that this is just what we do. Because I'm the oddball out and this is the only way that I can fit in. And so there's this weird belief that like you're never going to find people who are like you or who see you or who just experience the world in a way that maybe you've experienced it. And there's like this fear of always being on a desolate island in your mind. And so the shift here is coming with you being able to actually talk it out, your emotions, like actually physically speak those out into existence to the people who need to hear them, right? So like if people are saying, why can't you be like everyone else? You're going to be saying something like, because I was never designed that way, and nor should you ever expect me to be like everyone else either, because wouldn't that make this world rather boring? So it's like hitting them with slapstick logic. It's like, look, you can say what you want about me, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say something back because I'm tired of holding it in. So you could be also between the ages of 20, I want to say like 27 and like 32. Yeah. You're like developing your throat chakra right now. Like that's something that's happening right now, is developing the throat chakra. So it's vital towards those ages, because it's like that's when it's really developing and when you're coming into your own. And if you're not, that's fine, right? That's again a very a very specific message, but this is also showing, like, you know, wherever you're at, you're developing it because it needs to be developed. It's been underdeveloped, and also how it has affected your heart chakra. It's like you can't say what you want, what you desire, what your heart desires, because of this huge burden. And so we're gonna find out some more about this. Okay, this is a very heavy energy coming in. Like, I feel it all over my throat. It feels like someone has my throat like this in their hands. And it feels like a very heavy rock is laying across the top of my chest. And so it comes from family, though. Like, this is a very clear indication that it is from family. All right, let's see what else comes through here. So, source, what major change is occurring in pile number 2's life right now? What major change is occurring in pile 2's life? Yeah, the anxiety and the fear that comes from that. It's like you're quelling that by actually speaking out for yourself. It's like, I don't have to be afraid anymore. And you're giving your inner child a way to say something. But it's more than just your inner child. It's just like every part of yourself. So this could be something that you've heard for years and years and years. That's why I was saying, like, I kept getting like that family reunion. And so this is something like you could still go to a family reunion because it's expected of you. And you're going to suddenly stop. Like, I don't want to put myself in that anymore. I have obviously come to this place, yeah, where people just aren't for me. We've got the 6 of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, it's almost like there's a group of people that have been around you that wanted to see you be suppressed and oppressed, right? Like, they wanted you to feel bad about you being you. And it's almost like it made them feel like the big bad wolf, or it made them feel like they were in control, or it made them feel like they had authority in someone's life. And I you know, the thing is we could say it was just you. I feel like it may have been very, very open about you, but I also feel like this happens to other people in your family too, from these very specific individuals who started this. And then the family might just join in, or these other people might just, this could be friends, right? It doesn't have to be family. I just keep getting family energy. So we have friends that can be as close as family too. But it's just like, it's like everybody joined in because they didn't want to be the one that was on the receiving end of this person's harsh energy, or these people's harsh energies. And so we see here with the 6 of Wands in the reverse that this created a lot of upset in your life. And feeling like you're never going to succeed, and feeling like nothing good is ever going to happen for you, and feeling like it's like, oh, I'm just at the beck and call of these people. Like, whenever I'm around them, it's like I'm the one that they have to latch onto. And I feel like the reason they latch onto you is because they might not see you as much as they see everyone else. And it's like new blood. That's what I just heard right now. Or fresh blood. That's another thing that came through. It's like new or fresh blood. It's like, oh my gosh, like pile 2's here. Like, all right, it's like fresh blood. We can have fun this time around. And they might think that it's pranks, or they might not think that it's that big of a deal. And maybe they do. Like, there's some sense of this feeling like I have control over pile 2, but I have control over other people. And for them, it's just like, oh, we'll just deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. But it actually is. It's created a lot of turmoil inside of you. Wow, this is crazy. Oof. Yeah. Oh, wow. Here we go. Thank you, Source. We've got the Knight of Swords coming in. You are headed to battle, baby. You were like, look, chill out. Let it go. Stop saying that crap. Like, we're not going to have it no more. And you've got your sword up, and you're rushing in. You know, the Knight of Swords is all about protecting yourself and becoming your own hero. And that's what you do. You're coming to your rescue. And you're doing it in multiple ways, but the main thing here is how you're speaking, right? Like how you're communicating. The Swords cards connected with the air cards, air being our breath. It is our heart chakra as well, but it's also our throat chakra. Like the ability to make sound, right? And to have that sound be heard in this world. And it's like the way that you're thinking is shifting, and you're like, I don't have to put up with this. Maybe before it was like, well, it's family. That's what family does. Or like your family is trying to convince you, like, don't say anything because you don't want it to get worse. Or like they felt like maybe they were trying to protect you, but all they were doing was creating an even bigger block on your throat chakra because you were feeling like, I don't have a say in any of this. Why should I have to put up with this? Yeah. And see, you're doing it in a very wise way with the King of Cups here. So whatever this is, and it doesn't have to be family. That's just the example that's coming through. This could be work. This could be reminiscent of a childhood wound with a spouse, with your family, with your kids, with your parents, with your caretakers. This could be with just people, neighbors, people you know. But that's what it really feels like. And it's like you're coming in with this place of wisdom. It's like that. Like I said, slapstick logic. But it's like the King of Cups here. You're not doing it from a way of like, what is it? Treating them the way that they're treating you. Like you just stand up and you're like, look, we really need to talk about this. And they're going to be like, what do you want to talk about? Oh, here they come. Pile 2 trying to act like they're all big and mighty. And you're going to be like, look, you're the one who thinks you're big and mighty. And yet you're the one who's bullying people over here and you think it's okay. I'm not going to stand for it anymore. And I'm speaking up for myself. And I'm telling everybody here who needs to have a voice, you all should speak up for yourself too, because this has gone beyond what is reasonable and what is acceptable a long time ago. And it's like you might start bringing up past situations where you're like, look, this is done. This is done. And that's what it feels like. You're just really standing up for yourself here. Yeah. Because you recognize not saying something is sabotaging yourself. Not saying something is putting yourself in an awkward position. And so that's the biggest shift that's occurring for you. Wow. The 4 of Wands in the reverse and the 9 of Swords in the upright. Yes. The action that was going on, the reason why you weren't able to take action was because it's breaking your heart. Right? Whoever this is, you know, whether it's a group of people or a single person, whatever, it's like they broke your heart. They betrayed you. This is like a deep betrayal. And I feel like this from your childhood is something that is played out in your immediate relationships as well. And so you've had to learn how to set boundaries in places that felt very uncomfortable. It's like boundaries that you shouldn't have had to set, you've had to set. And it's like, why did I have to deal with this? But you're learning now. You're learning that, oh my gosh, like these are the red flags of things that are weighing me down. These are the red flags of the things that are repeat cycles in my life. Like these are the things that continue to play out and make me feel small, make me feel unworthy, make me feel like I'm not good enough. And this is, interestingly enough, but this is the completion of a cycle for you here. Something that you didn't want to face. Something that you didn't want to deal with because it felt like this is just always how it was supposed to be. And suddenly it's like you've gotten to a point where you're so sick and tired of being sick and tired that you change something about it. And when you choose to change something about it, you come in roaring like a lion. Like you're just like, I'm done. I'm done. And this is you speaking your truth. And it's like I said, you're not doing it in a rude way. You're not trying to cut others down. You're not trying to make others feel guilty. You're just trying to be honest as possible and be like, this is why it has to stop. And I feel like if other people are in the same position that you're in, and when you speak this, if you speak it out in front of people, and you don't have to, you could absolutely do this behind closed doors with one person, but there's this energy that's coming where it's like, you're really going to do this in front of a group of people because there's more than one person who needs to hear it. Then you're going to see that other people are going to start being brave enough to speak up for themselves as well. And so you've overcome whatever this was, this inaction in your life, okay? And this could be towards your dreams, towards your goals, towards just being honest with others. I do feel like there's a sense of people pleasing that's coming through in this reading. And, you know, like isolation is the other thing here too. It's just like when things didn't go the way that you had planned, or when things got increasingly difficult, there's a sense of isolation that's coming through here. Excuse me. Oh, I needed a drink. We see no longer being stuck in a position by others' opinions of you, no longer being stuck by what other people are saying of you, or even what we think others are thinking of us. Because ultimately, we can always take a gander and a guess at what other people are thinking of us, and they may make it very clear with their actions. But ultimately, we don't know the exact thoughts that are going on in someone's mind about us. And so it's this energy, and like My frequencies were tripping out there like that. So yeah, it's like understanding that like that is not mine to hold, and you release it. And in releasing it, you're actually healing something that's connected with the Saturn in your chart, in your natal chart. You could have Cancer and Saturn, Saturn in the 4th house. You could have a lot of squares in your chart as well. That's coming through. And squares are just huge challenges. You know, like there's a lot of people who have a lot of squares. Like I think I have 4 squares in my chart. Like it's absolutely insane. But it's one of those things, like when you have a square in your chart, it's also like once you overcome that, like you've gained a huge strength. It's kind of like a power up in life. Right? And so yeah, there's a challenge there, but you're also gaining that strength and that vitality and that wisdom and that power. It's just a power up. This may feel like you're taking a step backwards, but you're not. You're moving from inaction into clearly speaking. And so that's a very positive energy here. Let's see what else comes through for you. So Source, what else would you like to say here? Yeah, House 4, flying out. Flying out. We've got cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. This has really weighed on you for a long time, and this has made it feel like you could find nowhere that was safe. And remembering that you are your home, right? So like the more that you embrace that, like wherever I go is where my home is, because I am my home. The vessel that houses my soul is my home. And so I'm never not away from home. And reminding yourself that you're always safe when you're with yourself. And that's something that will help you also with this huge change, this huge shift. So this is a very powerful message. It's already duly noted here with House 4 coming through. Also, a lot of codependency issues are being faced head on here. So you're not going to have any more dealings with codependent connections. Not that you won't deal with codependent people, right? Because we'll always deal with them. But you're going to know exactly how to approach situations like that, where it's like, this is not my battle to fight. And then the Sun coming out with self-express and embody your truth. Yeah, this is going to affect the way that you see and approach life from here on forward. Like, there's no more holding back for you. So you could have your Sun in Gemini, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Cancer, Capricorn. And if none of those, that's all right. That's just, again, specific messages coming through. We've got fixed energy with Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius with stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability coming out. So you're going to find a newfound sense of stability in life. You're not going to feel so disconnected anymore. And I feel like even when people come up, even if someone were to tell you, like, you're terrible, like, you suck, like, you're never going to survive, you're never going to be successful, like, you're basically going to look at them and says who? And when they say, says me, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah? Are you doing what I'm trying to do with my life? And they're going to be like, well, no. And it's like, then why on earth would I ever take advice or listen to what you have to say about me when you're just sitting around and doing nothing with your own dreams? Tell me, how on earth does that make sense? And they're going to be like, well, you know, and you're going to be like, yeah, exactly. Like, you're just going to be like, look, get out of my face. So we've got Creus and Bond. Abundance, variety, and happiness are making their way to into your life. The time of harvest has arrived. Yeah, and solar plexus energy as well. I feel like just inaction has been a big thing for you. And that's shifting now. Like, you're going to be able to take imperfect action towards what you want. It's like, cool, if I mess up, at least I'm doing it. Like there's just a newfound logic that's taking over now. It's like, I'm not going to stay quiet because people tell me I have to. Like, I'm going to do it. Even if I mess up when I'm telling someone my truth, at least I'm trying. It's like, I'm getting it out there. I'm saying what I want in life. I'm saying how I feel about myself. It's like, you're not going to be afraid to start being vulnerable with people either. So look, wow, we've got the elephant spirit. Learn from the past, right? An elephant never forgets. And you're not gonna ever forget the things that you went through. But I feel like there's a time and a period where you're shifting into now. And the change is that you're going to be forever grateful for everything that you've experienced, because it's given you what you've needed to deal with people as an adult now. And that might not seem very powerful, but it is. especially when it comes to like business or, you know, any kind of special dealings that we have in life, that we have to deal with people who are kind of difficult. When we've had difficult families in past lives and we've stood up to that, like dealing with someone we don't know, who we're not emotionally attached to like that, it's easier for us to show up in a very professional way. So we've got 3, harmony flying out, divine guidance, balance, relaxation, patience, mindfulness. As the number of harmony, this card represents divine guidance and direction. Embrace the benefits of relaxation. Take your time and think before you speak or act. How can I bring more harmony into my life? By being mindful and patient in my actions. Today, practice mindfulness by taking a few deep breaths before making any important decisions or communicating with others. And that's the other thing too. That's why I was saying, like, you're not going to be mean about it. Like, you're really going to take a moment and observe. You know, have you ever met those people? Like, I always see this image of like a woman with a toothpick in her mouth. And I don't know why this is the image that I always see, but this is what, when I think about, you're thinking about what you're saying before you say it. This is the image they show me, is a woman with a toothpick in her mouth and listening to everything that everyone says and never says a word. And when everyone stops talking, she takes 5 minutes and it gets so uncomfortable that everyone like is like, should I say something? Should I say something? And then she speaks. But when she speaks in a very succinct manner, and she answers every person that has talked, and she addresses everything that everyone has talked about. But it might happen in 3 or 4 sentences. And then she goes back to chewing on her toothpick and staring at everyone, and everyone is flabbergasted by that. And I don't know why this is the image that they show me, but this is the image that they show me, and I feel like that's the energy that you're going to be in. It's like you're going to have your toothpick in your mouth, you know, metaphorically, chewing on their words, right? Chewing it and absorbing it, like what is coming through. And then after you're good and ready, you're going to say exactly what you mean and not stumble over it. We have 4442 with signs, messages, guidance, intuition, awareness, signs, and abundance. Stay alert for the signs and messages around you. By tuning into divine energy, you will be guided towards manifesting abundance and prosperity. So you're also coming up into a very abundant time in your life. And I actually feel like that is coming from you choosing to stand up for yourself. Like, and this might feel new, right? Like, this might feel new, standing up for myself, but it's necessary. Look, I cannot make this up. I'm getting a shadow energy, and the card, it flew over. It's just on the other side here. And it says teasing. Okay, like, it just flew out, teasing. Dangling partial truths. Needing answers and shifting. This is what I was talking about this whole time, is like, they saw it as teasing you. Oh, I'm just teasing you. But sometimes people don't realize the dangers in teasing other people. Like, there's a lot that goes with that. And if you're not, you know, careful, you can really affect someone's life. So I feel like that's something that you're healing from. The shadow aspect in your reading is that you're healing from teasing and coming up into a very, very solid stand. Look, undecided. Choosing between lovers, competing for affection. Like, this doesn't surprise me at all. I feel like this has left you in a place of being undecided at many times in your life. And now choosing yourself and choosing what it is that you want to do. Like, I feel like there's been times when you wanted to say something, but a minute you stepped forward, it was like the teasing commenced again, and you were like shut back down and feeling like you didn't have a say. And that's what it feels like now. You're no longer letting that be an indecision that you're taking, or an action that you're taking based on indecision. You're now saying, I decide to come forward and say something. Yeah, evolution, transformation, reinvent, and new beginnings. Like, and this helps you evolve on your soul journey as well. Look, chat, we've got chat coming through. Exchange information, disclose information, and inquire, right? That's speaking your truth. We've got promise, oath, contract, and emotional bond. You're clearing out those contracts, those karmic contracts here, and standing up into your energy and your light. And through that, I feel like you're going to be able to build better emotional bonds with people that are healthy. And treatment, healing, comfort, surgery, and repair. You're in a process of healing something very traumatic. And it's going away. Like, the heaviness of this energy is going away. We've got Aradia and Nice with 24. Aradia has spoken. Your inner servitude is over. Your beliefs and dependencies are melting away. I'm awakening the magic that will free you. Know that freedom begins in thoughts. Yeah, so you're getting free here. Like, that's the thing. Your energy is becoming free once again. And the way you think about yourself, selfish, definitely shifting. But the main thing that starts the shift is by speaking up for yourself. And then we have Rabbit Spirit with now is a lucky time. Finding stability in yourself and recognizing that you are your own luck. So we're going to take a look at your archetype card. I'm going to read this from the book. We've got the Vision. Gaining wisdom, seeing things clearly, receiving psychic visions from source, receiving psychic downloads. This could be having very, very vivid dreams about family, about even... Oh, okay, that's what they want. So you might be having dreams where you're standing up to certain people in your... like in the dreams, like you're actually saying things that you want to say, or you're not holding back, and like that's because it's going to start happening in real life, and they don't want you to hide from that. Okay, so that's number 60. I'm sorry, I was wrong. That's number 55. Okay. It says the dream. Yeah, the dream. Okay, so the dream, the imagined, the revealed. You can gauge how connected you are to your vision by how tired you are. And since the vision feeds us energy, it affects our life force and vitality. It says, look at art you loved when you were young. Listen to old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the vision. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny towards which we are aimed. It is also said that we forget this vision the moment we are born. Thus, we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It appears in strange dreams and surreal images, seemingly unattainable and preposterous when we are connected to the vision. We carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near with those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning. Bringing back the mystery, bringing back the dreams. When light, it says potent imagination, synchronicity, and trust. When disconnected, when dark, disconnected from art and dreams, listless and aimless. Go deeper, Twin Peaks by David Lynch and The Dream by Frida Kahlo. Very powerful. So it feels like this is actually shifting so that you can come back into connection with your purpose, with your dream, with what you desire to do. So you speaking your truth and saving yourself from this, right? You coming in and just, boom, I'm going to take this out of my life. I don't even want to deal with this anymore. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And if people come at me like this again, I'm going to say what I need to say. But it's actually bringing you into a more imaginative time where you're going to open up to the path that's meant to unfold for you. You're no longer going to be doing things just because people expect you to. You're going to be doing things because you want to do them for yourself. And that's a very powerful place to be at. Okay, so this is the major change that's occurring for you right now, pile number 2. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little owl emoji down below and say, I trust that by saving myself, I stand firm and I am able to achieve my vision and my dreams in this reality. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box. How to reach me for a personal reading, how to join as a member. I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this powerful message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful moonstone, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on what major changes are occurring for you at this time or in your life right now. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I did have a couple of channel messages for you. The first one is to take a beginner's mindset. That's very important moving forward, that there could be some sort of a union coming together, but we are going to look more into that. And the other one is that there's always enough. So open up to this, that there's always enough in life for us. Like, there is no cap on love, on money, on success, or anything like that. There's always enough for everyone, including myself. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera just a tad here. There we go. So Source, what major change is occurring in pile number 3's life right now? Source, what major change is occurring in pile number 3's life right now? What would you like to tell us? What major change is occurring in pile number 3's life right now? All right, so we've got the first house, the sun, and we've got Cancer energy. So all about how you're approaching life right now. And that, you know, it could be frustrating because you could be like, well, I've been doing that for a long time, right? Like, I've been changing the way that I see life. I've been changing the way that I see myself. I've been changing all these things. But really, it's how you see life. Let me see if I can get that to focus a little bit better. Okay, the sun is coming in right there, and so it's really bright, but I guess I could close the blind a little bit and see if that helps. No, I'm gonna have to close it all the way. All right. Yeah, you're changing the way that you see all the things that you're doing in life, right? Like, you are no longer being a victim of your past codependencies. You're no longer being a victim of other people's codependencies. Like, whatever it is that people are bringing into your life, like, you're no longer being affected by that. We see here that you're gaining a sense of strength and vitality and clarity with this, and stepping into a position of leadership, like, where people are going to be looking to you to lead them, looking to you to help them, right? But it has to do with how you're looking at yourself, how independent you are, the first impressions that you put on the world, the new beginning that you might be jumping into, which with anything in a change is a new beginning, right? And Cancer energy is a very beautiful energy, but it can also be a very, very difficult energy. But we see this with this loyalty and emotions and support coming through, with compassion, unconditional love, definitely tapping into both the divine masculine and the divine feminine here, right? And so you're creating something, or you're about to start some sort of creation that's going to be giving you a ton of energy, a ton of light, and people are going to come to you. They're going to celebrate what it is that you're doing. And you might not be doing anything necessarily new, but it's just the way that you see yourself, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like, I deserve success. So maybe you're doing manifestation work. You could be doing witch work. I was going to say witch work because that makes so much sense. Spells. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious that came out like that. Okay, so anyways, you could be doing manifestation. You could be doing spells. You could be doing, you know, like, visualization. You could be doing affirmations. You know, you could be writing out what you want. You could be using a journal or a certain type of guided meditation, whatever it is. Okay, there's something here that you're changing the way that you see yourself, and it's like, instead of worrying, like, is it going to come true? Am I actually going to get this? Is this really going to be a thing for me? Like, you're like, no, it is happening. I see it happening. I know it's going to happen in my mind, and that's it. Like, I'm going to have it in this real life, and you're no longer questioning that. And I feel like, too, you're coming into a state of radical self-acceptance. And this is powerful, right? When we fully accept our flaws and our imperfections and our perfections and our gifts, and we see ourselves as this whole being that is allowed to live and let live, and it takes the pressure off of trying to be something that you're not, right? It's like, oh, like, well, I need to be perfect for everyone else. You're recognizing, I just need to be perfect for me. And that's just by me being who I am. And it's really this deep, deep love that's coming from self that's beginning to shine forth from you, that's bringing a lot of creation into your life. That's why it's interesting with the beginner mindset. So this could be a new way of thinking for you. And that's why it feels like a beginner mindset. And that's why I was saying, like, a union could be the union between the divine masculine and the divine feminine within. Okay, let me clarify, within. Let's not get too excited here, okay? I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but we're going to focus more on self today because that's really what's coming. But if it does come up in the reading, I will definitely touch on it, okay? And there is always enough. So maybe for a time you were thinking that what it was that you were doing was too saturated. There was a market for it, but there was too many people that were doing it. How am I supposed to make myself successful in a situation that's completely saturated? Like, you're no longer looking at it that way. Like, you're seeing that you have the skill set for this too, and you deserve to be seen and successful at this as well. And that it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. So there's like a sense of no longer comparing yourself to others. Even if you see others who are seemingly more successful than you, like, you're no longer in this place like, oh, I wish I was them. Like, you're like, no, I'm going to get there one day. They're setting the bar for me and I'm going to climb to that bar and higher than that bar. Like, you're just seeing it as a goal, I guess. It's like, I'm going to rise to the top because that's what I deserve. So, source, what major change is occurring in pile number 3's life right now? Traveling the world came through really, really loud right now. Like, maybe that's something you wanted to do for a long time, and so now you're going to be traveling the world, and that's a major change for you as well. You could be moving to an entirely new country. And that's a very specific message, but it was just so loud, I have to touch on it. And so it's like, you could be going somewhere that you've never been before, never even experienced anything like where you're going. And so it's going to be a huge culture shock for you, but I feel like you're going to thrive there. And people are going to really appreciate you being you. And that could be something that's really different for you. Maybe no one's ever appreciated you and liked you for you because you weren't around the right people. Right? We never find the people who are for us close to home. Like, it's just something that happens on this journey, especially when you're, look, the sun coming out again, under the sun. Doubly strong message here for you. Yeah, it's like, okay, so what I was saying is, like, you never find the people that are for you closest to home. It's just why this journey is like that. I don't know. It just happens so much. Like, it's oftentimes the people who are closest to us that cause the most chaos in our lives and that cause us to really choose, am I going to grow or am I going to stay stagnant and put up with what I've put up with for so long? And whether they're consciously doing it or subconsciously doing it, again, we're not here to judge that. We're just recognizing that this is not okay in my life and I have to choose to change myself, right? That's what we're trying to focus on. And so with that, we see here with the sun coming out underneath the sun, it's just showing that now you're being clearly shown the way. And it's like you're coming in and this could be your higher self just being like, hey, it's going to be okay. Like, we're going to get there. And what seemed like a mountain at one point is now like something that you can easily step over. Like, there's no longer this energy of like, it's impossible, I can't do that. You're saying it is possible and I'm gonna get there. Even if it takes time, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get where I want to go because that's my dream and I'm not gonna let it go. Look, we've got the Queen of Cups on the bottom, which is Cancer energy coming through here. Yeah, that compassionate, loyal, loving, intuitive energy. Being led by the divine right now is very clear coming through as well. Like, Cancer is ruled by the Ajna chakra, which is our third eye chakra. And so it's like having a spiritual awakening to yourself. So you've done a lot of spiritual work, pile number 3. You've done a lot. You've done a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work. You've done a lot that has helped you grow beyond where it was that you were. But I feel like the one thing that was kind of like always on the back burner was how you saw yourself. It was easy enough to heal how others treated you. It was easy enough to heal, and maybe not easy, but it was like those things were simple. It was simple to look at things that were happening outside of you that were affecting triggers within you, but to look at yourself as somebody who deserved love, that might have been a very huge challenge for you along the way. And so we see that that's something that's shifting now. It's like you're realizing, like, hold up, like this whole time I have been doing the one thing that I didn't want to do. And look, okay, this makes sense. So there could have been a cancer. You could have had a mother who's a cancer, a father who's a cancer, or just a cancer in your life that put you in a position where you had to take care of them emotionally. Like they made their emotions your responsibility. And so that's why it was easier to focus on people who hurt you instead of focusing on how we hurt ourselves, right? And that's what it feels like here. It's like focusing on how other people hurt me is simple because it's that same energy of taking care of others' needs, even though it's helping you. But the one thing that you kept running from was yourself. And I feel like that's what we're seeing is the major change here. You realize you're outgrowing something very quickly. And there has to be a shift here. And the shift is that now I have to focus on myself. What do I want? And maybe you've never known that. Maybe asking yourself that question, you always like went blank. And it was always like, well, I don't really know. Like, I know that I want success, or I know that I want stability, or I know that I want to help people, or I know that I want to impact the world in a positive way, or like there's things that you knew you wanted, but to like say, this is what I want, and to know it within your core and to know it within your being, it's like you never knew that. And so I'm feeling this energy where it's like suddenly this shift of, what do I want was something that was so important to you that finally figuring out, like, I want to travel, or I want to go somewhere very specific and I want to experience this on my own without anybody around, or I want to live on my own without anybody around, or I want to, try a different language, or I want to try different food, or, it could be anything. It could be maybe you want to learn a new, skill, or you could want to go to school again, or you want to learn how to do divination, or you want to learn how to do whatever the situation is. It's like you're finally able to say, like, this is what I want, and I really want it, and I really want it. Like, it's like when people are like, what do you want? You have one thing to say, this is what I want more than anything in the world right now. This is what I want. And people are like, whoa. You're like, what? Pile 3, you actually know what you want. And it's like, you're so excited about it. You're so excited about it. It feels so good. It feels so amazing to know what you want. And that is what's shining through. It's like, suddenly you're brighter than you were before. Suddenly people are like, oh, I want to talk to Pile 3 more than they did before. It's because you're finding out who you are. It's like asking, what do I want, helped you to discover your soul. And it's like your soul said, we need to go here. Shoot, we're going to, Egypt, or we're going to Russia, or shoot, I want to visit Alaska, or I want to go over to the North Pole, like, let's get real. Like, it's just something that's creative. I know these are travel ideas, but it's like outrageous. It's something where you're uprooting yourself. And that's it. Maybe you are a doctor and you want to go and become an anthropologist. I don't know what that is, but okay, it just came through. So we're going to just leave that there. Or maybe you've always studied law and suddenly you want to become a nurse, or suddenly you want to go and become a chiropractor, right? Or you want to become a Reiki master or something. It's like, this is like what I'm saying. It's this energy of being so different from what you normally were, or who you normally were and what you normally did. Everyone's like, what? They're confused, but you are feeling more centered. Yeah, you had a hard time saving yourself with the Knight of Swords here. Like, you have to be your own hero. And this is like letting people confuse you by their conceited energy and by their beliefs and misguided reason, and creating a lot of dysfunction in life because it's like they're impressing upon you that you have to believe the way I believe, or, it's like if you don't do things the way that I expect you to do things, then there's something wrong with you. And you're recognizing that, no, there's not. There's nothing wrong with me. There never has been anything wrong with me. Oh. Yep, disconnected. Disjointed is the word that came through. Not wanting to see the light, right? Even if it makes me blind, I just want to, what is it? I just want to see the light. Yeah, it's like, even if it makes me blind, I just want to see the light. There's a song, and I can't remember who it's by, but I'm sure if you type in those lyrics, it'll come up. Anyways, it's just showing here, like, you had a hard time saving yourself. You had a hard time going within on the thing that mattered the most, and that was you. That was you. And so the shift that's happening is suddenly you're putting you first. Like, you're not on the back burner anymore. It's like, it's been on a slow simmer for a long time, and now you're like, I'm ready to cook this. Like, I'm ready to enjoy this part of my life. Like, I'm ready to see who I am without trying to dispel everyone else, because I've done so much of that. You really have healed a lot, right? And so now that healing, it's like there's only one place left to go, and that's to look at yourself as a whole being. And I feel like that's just something that's been really scary and really resistant, but it had to be held off until now, because now it's like you're just standing there like, look, I accept me for who I am, and I'm tired of trying to impress people, or I'm tired of doing this. And that's definitely been an underlying message for this whole reason. Definitely different for each pile. There's been different messages for each pile, which is incredible, and I love that. And so absolutely, if you've watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's for my Purple Heart Club. Just say I made it. I know what that means, and I truly appreciate those of you that spend the entire reading with me. It means so much to me. But yeah, there's this energy through here. It's like you're no longer letting what people have told you or impressed upon you or tried to make you believe, you're no longer letting that be your belief. You're saying, you know what? If you don't think that I can do it, then basically watch me. Like, watch me do it. Watch me try. Watch me succeed. And even if I don't succeed, watch me still try. Because at least I'm doing it. At least I'm going after what I want. And that's something that's very powerful no matter how you look at it. But we see this energy of finally seeing a truth here, finally seeing reason, finally having clarity. And that morphs into this understanding that I get to protect myself, right? I'm letting go of passive aggressiveness. I'm letting go of codependency. I'm letting go of anything that's toxic that came from my past life. And that's what's happening now. It's like you're turning your life on your past, and you're saying, like, I want to live in this moment. How can I make this moment count for me? And that's a massive change, right? That's a massive change, because now it's like the triggers of the past are just going to dissipate because of that. Like, it's like, even if one comes up, you're going to remind yourself, like, that's in the past. That's not who I am now. And so it's going to, every time that a trigger happens, instead of reacting to it, right, it's gonna become more and more dull. Like, it's not even numb, it's just a dull sense. Like, oh, okay, that used to trigger me really badly, but it doesn't anymore. Why? Because that's part of my past. I get to choose my future and my present, and I'm living fully in the present moment. And so you're coming into this place of true presence now, and it's like, I just want to see. Like, that's what I keep hearing. I just want to see. I want to see what happens. I want to see what I experience if I go here. I want to see what I do when I do this. Yeah, I'm being led spiritually is the main thing that's coming through here. Yeah. So we've got Aquarius, Virgo, Leo, Libra, and Cancer energy out here. And Aries. Aries in the first house. Aries sun. Cancer moon. Sun in the 3rd house. Okay. 9th house in Cancer. Libra in the 10th house. Mercury in Aquarius? Okay. We're just going to go with it. I'm not even going to question that. We're just going to go with it. I don't know. I'm just the channel. I don't know. The messages come through as they come through. Let's get some oracles out and see what else is coming through for you here. Okay, radically change, Uranus, yeah, more Aquarius energy. This is too much. I'm going to put them back and we're going to shuffle again, but I'm going to look at them. We've got radically change with Uranus, Chiron, hurt and heal, the wounded healer. Yeah, it's like you've learned all the lessons. There's nothing more to learn. And then we've got sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential in a rewarding situation. Yeah, so letting go and going with the flow. All right. I just want 2, Source. Okay, thank you. That one wants to stay there, so we'll leave it there. One more. Thank you. Yin energy, receptivity. So we've got intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity with Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. Okay, so coming into this place of divine feminine, that's why I was saying, like, the union of the masculine and the divine feminine is becoming clear. It's like finally this integration of both sides of yourself, like taking inspired action while also resting in trusting receptivity. And on the bottom, we have house 1, individuality, self-image, and approach to life. That's it. This is your first house energy, right? So your first house energy is being greatly impacted by this. So it would probably benefit you to know what your first house is, or your ascendant, I should say. Knowing where your ascendant is will help you better understand this shift that's going to help happen for you. But this is what's happening. It's just truly choosing what's best for you and not questioning it anymore. Not worrying about, like, what are people going to think or what are people going to say? You're just like, I just don't care anymore. This is what I'm doing. Like, I feel like you made a shift at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of 2025, because we're still in January at the time of me recording this. And so I feel like you made a shift. And you made a solid decision at the beginning of 2025, and you're like, this is what I want. And you might not have told anybody about it. You might have been like, no, or you may have told a couple of people, but it was like, you know, in passing, maybe to a couple strangers, just to see how it sounded out loud. But now it's like, as time goes on, it's like, it's gripping you more and more. Like, you know, this is what you want more than anything. So we have Landa and Clarita with life on Earth is a heroic journey. Mastering the visible and the earthly is as important as mastering the invisible and the mystic. Yeah, this is that this is that divine union between masculine and feminine energy. Masculine has reign and domain over the earthly and the physical, and the feminine has reign and domain over the invisible and the mystic. So again, mastering the feminine and the masculine energies. Angel. No. Thank you. All right, let's see what comes here. We've got, this came out in another reading today. We have use your mind wisely with Pig Spirit. Number 11, 47 breaks into 11. And so we have this very spiritual energy. Also being guided from your angels and your guides here, I feel. Also, like, finally living with your head up in the clouds a little bit. Like, maybe you've been afraid to really dream for yourself because you've had to be so, like, serious about the mundane, like, so serious about the 3D realm. And now it's like, no, I want to dream for myself. Like, I want to know what that means. And know your worth. Yeah. Knowing your worth, you finally see your value. And you're living in that. And embodying it too. Like, that's another thing. Like, being able to embody that part of yourself without question. Okay. 404. Mind energy. Focus, determination, preparation, mental strength, clarity, resolve, and future readiness. Exactly. Prepare your mind for future challenges. Mental strength and focus will help you overcome obstacles with determination and hard work. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, you know that those triggers might arise, but you've gone through so much healing that they're no longer, they're not triggering you anymore. It's just like, oh, hey, wow, that used to really trigger me. And then you're just letting it go. And from that, you're feeling freer. You're feeling better about yourself. So let's get a shadow aspect for pile number 3, Source. Major changes occurring for pile number 3. Wow, hello. The cards are going crazy right now. All right, so you're going to get 2 of those. Everybody else got 1, but let's see what's on the bottom. Roving eyes. keeping possibilities open, obvious flirt, and disrespectful. So you could be dealing with people who've been very disrespectful. You could have been cheated on. You could have had somebody in your life that was a very big flirt. You know, it's just, I feel like roving eyes is just like, it's like looking everywhere else. It's also symbolic to what we were talking about. It's like looking everywhere but at yourself. Because that's the most challenging aspect of this journey, is to look at ourselves. And it's not that you didn't know how to heal yourself. That's what you've been working on. It's just looking at everywhere but yourself when it came to what it is that you wanted or what it is that you needed from life. Understanding your wants and needs. There we go. Okay, thank you. On the bottom we have comply. Rules, laws, and unwritten rules. Yeah, so you complied to this societal belief of taking care of everyone else but yourself, right? And I feel like even with your healing journey, it was always about like, let me take care of everyone else that hurt me first, not by taking care of them, but by taking care of the traumas that came with that, than it is to take care of myself. And it's like you ran out of content for taking care of others, and now there's only one thing left to do, and that's take care of yourself. And that was like the unwritten law. I was like, well, I have to follow this. And like I said, like, you wouldn't have been ready. You wouldn't have been ready to receive that earlier, and now you are ready to receive that. And so there's something very powerful about that. We've got Melahel and Shumhatshaladlu. With Melahel has spoken, I am the light in the darkness. I will guide you back to divine love. All lower energy must bow before my power. Yeah, so realizing that you no longer have to hold on to that darkness, right? And coming into a space of light. It's very powerful for you. Time to collaborate with Ant Spirit. Things falling apart to fall into place, but also connecting with people who are going to be on the same level as you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you're going to be traveling. And I know that's really specific. I know, but it's just something that keeps coming up. Like, I feel like for you, Pile 3, you're going to be traveling soon. And in that, you're going to be finding people who are your soul family. Like, you're going to be connecting with people that you never knew existed. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad this person exists. Like, it's going to be really good for you. We've got number 4 here. Organization, focus, discipline, clarity, structure, empowerment, problem solving. Stay focused on your life journey. Your angels want you free from distractions. Good organization empowers you to isolate and overcome the difficulties you've been facing. So again, idea that overcoming these difficulties, you've been overcoming these difficulties all along, and now you're going to be skyrocketing through that from this self-love. It says, what steps can I take to better organize my life and stay focused on what truly matters? Today, set aside time to organize your thoughts, plans, or environment, allowing yourself to tackle challenges with clarity and purpose. And stability, strength, structure, and stability as well. You're being completely reformed or revamped into being stable and strong with who you are. So shadow, we have mirror. Reflects your own inner issues. Like attracts like. Yeah, that makes sense. But look at how she's turned away from the mirror. Right? Again, this synchronicity and symbology coming through here. It's like, I don't want to look at myself. That's been the one thing that's been really difficult for you. And that's the massive shift that's happening for you. The massive change that's occurring for you right now is the ability to finally look at yourself and in turn accept yourself fully. Devilish. Trouble follows them around, tempting and addictive charm. I do feel like you've dealt with a lot of people in your life that have really had ill intention for you. And I feel like it's been really difficult because it's like almost feeling like now I have to generalize how I feel about others, right? Like everybody's against me, like no one sees me, no one loves me, but it's this feeling of never being able to look at yourself like and love yourself fully that's been attracting this type of energy into your life. It's not your fault at all. It's just that societal belief that's been playing a part in your subconscious. And now finally, it's like you finally turn around and look at yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, you're who I've been looking for all along. And in making that decision to see yourself, that's why you open up to finally seeing your soul family. Okay, anniversary, birthday, holiday, important day. It's interesting. Both of these cards came out in another pile, but I do feel like there's something that shifted. And I feel like the important day, what did I say, is like at the beginning of the year. And I feel like that was an important day for you. It was like the first of the year was something, it wasn't even like a New Year's resolution. It was like a shift in energy around you. It's like, okay, we're beginning a new year, so I'm choosing this. And you made that choice. And it's just been, it's been growing and growing and growing inside of you. And it's just, it's like fueling you forward. Jealousy, possessiveness, competitiveness, dependence, and paranoia. So it's talking about that codependence, but you could have been dealing with a lot of jealousy around you. And I feel like that goes with that. Actually, I'm going to put this here. That goes with that devilish energy. This is why people have been trying to tempt you or trying to get you to see them or to deal with them. Is because there's a lot of people who are jealous of you and your abilities. I feel like that's also why it was hard for you to look at yourself, because you've been fed so much BS your whole life about who you are and what you're capable of. And it's like finally letting that go and believing that like I'm worthy and I am capable and I get to live my life the way that I choose and not based on what everyone thinks of me. I feel like that's been something that's been really hard for you, because you probably had a lot of people in your life that have been very competitive with you, very dependent on you being small and paranoid about your success and paranoid about you coming into your light and your energy, but you're moving away from that. And then, wow, yeah, betrayal, breakup, divorce, infidelity, and that goes with the roving eyes as well. So that could have also been the major shift that happened for you, was like a divorce. And that's why now you're coming into the union between the masculine and the feminine with one another. And that makes sense, because it's like, that's why I was saying at the beginning, it's not a union necessarily with someone. And it never came up in the reading that someone was coming in. But it's like through this is like after a huge, huge betrayal, after a huge, huge heartbreak, after a huge hardship, that was the major important day for you, right? That's where the shift happened. And it's like you made the decision to choose yourself. And now it's getting fueled because you're actually seeing yourself, right? You're seeing yourself clearly and loving yourself and being there for yourself. And this one here, Mercury, think, learn, network, and communicate. Yeah, so Mercury energy has been driving you as well, but also being able to be honest with yourself. I feel like that's been something that's been difficult just because you've never had anybody that's been honest with you. And so how am I supposed to learn how to be honest with myself when I've never had anybody be honest with me? And it's like you finally made this choice, like I'm gonna be there for myself. And in being there for yourself, you're starting to grieve and let go of those hardships from the past, right? That codependency, the betrayals, the jealousy, the possessiveness that comes with that. And it's like the control that comes with that, and letting that go, you're finding a new sense of stability within yourself. And so this hurt and this heartache that you went through actually shifted you into finally looking at yourself. And I mean, it's unfortunate that you've had to go through this incredibly difficult situation. And it's like, we can say that that's ultimately the reason, like it all happens for a purpose. And I feel like it's like, whether it happens for a purpose or it doesn't, I feel like the most important thing is that we find our own reasons to keep going. Right? Like, what is it that pushes us to become more aligned with ourselves and more aligned with our journey and who we are? And you found that, and you definitely embraced that. So, you know, it's like, I could say it's a purpose. We can all say it's a purpose. I mean, everything happens in divine timing, of course, but it's like sometimes people, like good people, have to go through horrible things, and sometimes there's no control over that, right? Like, it's just a part of this dualistic life. And so it's like, rather than saying it happened for purpose, it's like coming back to, did I find my reason for continuing? Did I find my reason to find myself? And that's exactly what you did. It's like, because sometimes when we say, well, it happened for a purpose, what was that purpose? It's hard to find the purpose because it was something that was so tragic or something that was so difficult. And so instead of looking for the purpose, when we find alignment with ourselves and we know we were always along the whole journey, we were the whole reason, right? And we should always be the reason. So let's take a look at your oracle card here. I'm going to read this from the book. Wow, we've got the Venom. This is very telling, especially with some of those cards that we've got, betrayal and jealousy, and we've got the venom coming out. This is an incredibly powerful card. It's like you were stung. There's like no getting back from that, right? But you're learning how to overcome those hardships, and you're learning how to let them go. Let me see if I can find this here. Let's see. That would be 63. My dog is outside barking, so if you hear her. Here we go. The venom. It says the poison, the curse, the toxin, letting go of the toxic patterns. And I feel like it was easy. Before I read this, I do want to point out, pile 3, like I feel like it was easy to focus all the energy on this person that hurt you. And it was like their fault. It was them being crazy. They're the reason that my life went awry. And while they definitely played a part in that, I feel like you realizing that the toxic energy that was there, and realizing that like that's another reason why it was hard for you to look at yourself, is because it was easy to point the finger at them. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that when you learn to stop pointing fingers, it really brings us into this state of like, how do I really center into myself? Okay. So we've got the poison, the curse, and the toxin. And it says, the spreading of the venom is like a chain reaction. When we strike others, it is likely we have ourselves been struck. Break the curse and break the cycle. It says, when you harm another, you harm yourself. Keep this in mind. Keep in mind this goes for our earth as well, with cosmic consequences. Much to our dismay, the venom is always lurking in the shadows in one form or another. Its toxic presence may be found in our relationship, thoughts, speech, or environment. Thankfully, the cycle of purification and detoxification comes so naturally that it is built into our every exhale. We breathe out carbon dioxide and the plants return it to us as oxygen. Archetypal venom is rarely remedied as easily, however, and it can come in potent forms and quantities that are deeply damaging to us and to the world. When the venom card appears, there's a harmful substance in our psychic realm that must be identified. Perhaps your words have a sting of poison about them. Perhaps a relationship is slowly draining your reserves. Acknowledgement is the first step. Change is the second. The remedy will reveal itself in time, and with it, forgiveness. When light, look, I can't make this up. It says, when light, self-realization through suffering. Wow. And it says, when dark, unwillingness to find a solution or forgive. And to go deeper is A Poison Tree by William Blake. Okay, so that is so telling, that self-realization through suffering. Let me show that to you right here. See if that'll focus. Come on. It does and it doesn't. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Self-realization through suffering. Okay. So that's the thing. It's like you're finding out who you are, but you had to go through something that was incredibly difficult. And that's what I'm saying. Like the whole of the change here is not about focusing on what bad happened to you, but on what good you choose to bring into your life now. And this is Source saying that like what you went through was absolutely horrifying and difficult and horrendous, but if all we do is focus on how bad it was, we'll never come into a state of balance again. And that's what I'm saying, like you've switched up how you're doing that, and the change that's happening is you choosing to look at yourself and find that balance. And again, with Mercury coming out, wanting to be on top of the Queen of Cups here, it's saying you're choosing to finally be completely honest with yourself and say, what part did I play in this for myself? And how did I hurt myself in this? And it's not about placing blame anymore. It's just about choosing to do something that's different for yourself so that you can grow. And I know this is a very difficult reading, but you're doing an amazing job. Okay, pile 3, like it's been hard, and give yourself time and space to grieve. You deserve that. Okay, so this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little candle emoji down below and say, I choose to light my own candle and see my way through the darkness within, knowing that my light shines brightly at my core. And if it resonated with you, it'd mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. You'll find everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides, all for coming together to give us this incredibly hard and amazing reading too, right? And with that, here's a big energetic hug, pile number 3, because I feel like you need it. You're amazing, and keep doing the wonderful things that you're doing. Until next time, stay human. Bye.